Exercise 10. Check spelling and grammar. From the Word 2007 Core Preparation Guide, brought to you by Shiftkey Solutions. In this exercise, we're going to be talking about the different types of grammar and spelling errors that can occur in our Word document. Step 1 of Exercise 10 tells us to go to page 2, we're here now, and notice the red, green, and blue lines that underline some of the words or phrases here. We can see here is a blue underline, here's a red underline, here's a red underline, and here's a green underline. And these will indicate different possible errors. Red indicates a possible spelling error, blue indicates a possible word use error, and green indicates a possible grammar error. If I scroll down here in my document on page 2, I'll notice that there are a number of the name Hawken with a red underline underneath it, indicating that it's a possible spelling error. Well, that's a proper name, and the dictionary does not recognize this. So the way I want to do this is I'm going to right click on the first one here, and here's a list of possible spelling corrections. Well, I happen to know that that's correctly spelled, so we're going to come down and not just choose ignore, because if we choose ignore, it's going to not remove the underline for the subsequent Hawkins. I want to choose ignore all, and it will remove the red line from each of these. Next, I'm going to come up to the blue underline word in. Well, that's the in that we would sleep in. We want to right click this and then choose the proper word in. Next, if I scroll up in my document, I'll see that there's a misspelled moderator's word. So I'm going to right click on this and choose the correct spelling here in the list. And then down here we see in this line classes is. That sounds like it's probably a grammar error, so I'm going to right click on this and choose classes are. Next, I'm going to move my insertion point to the beginning of my document by pressing Control Home. Now this is important to remember. The reason we do this is because we're about to run a spelling and grammars check on the entire document as a whole. Now the location of my insertion point is going to be important because this spelling and grammar check will move from that location and then downward or forward. So if my insertion point was here, it would move from here forward. So it's always a nice practice to move to the beginning of your document. From here, we're going to go to our Review tab, and then over in the Proofing group, we're going to click the Spelling and Grammars button. And here it goes. So here's the first item that's been identified. There are too many words of the in here. So I'm going to just press my backspace button a couple times until that second word the is removed, and then click change. And here the word intermittently is misspelled, so here's the suggestion and that's the correct spelling, so I'm going to click change. Here's a grammar error, so here are my choices to choose from. I'm going to choose time is. Story time is available. That's a better selection, so I'm going to click change. And backgammon is misspelled, so I'm going to click change. Then my dialog box comes up, tells me the spelling and grammar check is complete. I'll click OK, and that's done. I'm going to move my insertion point to the beginning of my document by pressing Control Home. And then I'm going to save my work by clicking the Save button here in the Quick Access toolbar. And that concludes Exercise 10. Check spelling and grammar. Thanks for joining me. Next, in Exercise 11, we'll be talking about formatting text into columns.